Welcome to the Quest podcast. It's all about my quest to restore my health, repair my hormones, and win my lifelong battle with weight, and actually go from fat to fit. If you're interested in any of these topics, join me because it's my mission to share the information and resources I've found with you. So pop in those earbuds and let's go.
Get up, get moving, and come on and see, because it's time to live a life that's happy and free. Yeah, the world is yours, look a little bit closer. If you want it, come and get it. You can take it over, you can make your tomorrows what you want them to be. You got the power in your hands to shape your history. We're going up, and
Hey everybody, Melissa Curtis here. Thanks so much for tuning into the program today. I have just a short episode today. It's about a movie that's just come out and it's available for you to watch online. You can actually stream it. It's kind of like a Netflix deal. It's called Serial Killers with a C, like breakfast cereal, as opposed to S. And it's kind of a cool documentary that was produced by a man named Donald O'Neill from Ireland, who went on kind of a quest not unfamiliar to me. He went on it on behalf of his father, and he had the film crew kind of follow him and show what he was doing, why he was doing it, and how he was doing it, and what the final results were after a 30-day change in the way he was eating. Now, it's not heavy-handed. It's really fun to watch, and it's appropriate for kids, too. There's nothing scary in there. It just challenges your worldview of what's healthy and what isn't. And it really takes another look at the science behind a low-carb diet or a low-carb lifestyle is more what I like to think about it. Now, there are also some cool animations in there which help you to understand what concepts are being talked about, like insulin and insulin resistance and how that works in the blood. The good thing I think that Donald did was he went to the famous sports medicine, I think it's called the Exercise Science and Sports Medicine Research Unit in South Africa, where Dr. Timothy Noakes, who's quite well known as a runner in the past, as I think an ultra runner, if I'm not mistaken, and also wrote a book called The Lore of Running, which if you're a runner, that's been a famous book in your training and also in understanding what you're doing. So Donald went to that clinic, and if I'm not mistaken, it's the same clinic that Tim Ferriss talks about and had a video of when he brought out his book, The 4-Hour Body. He had made a trip to, I believe it's the same clinic, but I'll double check on that and put a note in there in the show notes. He had done a DNA test, and that's one of the things that Donald does as well in this documentary. And it came back, and the results were that he would never be a power lifter or able to lift certain amounts of weight in his weight training program. Speaking of Tim Ferriss now. And he actually went to this same clinic, I believe, again, I'll check on it, and had a biopsy done of the muscle in his thigh. And he videoed it and put it online, because what it showed was that, in fact, he could change the way he was doing things and really lift the amount of weight, or the style of lifting that he wanted to do was possible for him, even though his DNA results had said you'll never be able to achieve this. And that's a concept which is really important. And now that we're able to get our DNA for under $100 by just doing a swab, it's an important consideration, along with a Wellness FX panel, as I've talked about before, to think about. And the best way I can explain this is to think about your DNA and the report that comes back where it says you have weaknesses. Those weaknesses are a weak link in a bigger chain. And if you can avoid stressing those weak links, they won't break. They'll stay intact and the whole chain will stay fine, and basically your body will be in good shape. But if you're doing something which is eating the wrong foods or exercising the wrong way or doing something that's inflaming those weak links, they will break. And that's where you have something like a heart attack or a stroke or some other disease that comes in or gets an opening to come in and take off inside your body. So if you know what those weak links are, you can protect against it. And in the documentary, Donald, again, pretty much reinforces everything I've already said, which I discovered, which is to get your blood work done first before you start changing anything so you know where you stand, and then to analyze it as you're going along. And he even did a really interesting thing. He went into this special chamber, a hyperbaric chamber, where they took a resting metabolism of his body to see about how many calories he would be burning before he started the program and how many afterward. So the results were pretty interesting, and they're summarized by Dr. Noakes and Donald in the documentary and laid out pretty clearly. And again, these are all public. He's put them online, so they're available for you to look at. But he then, Dr. Noakes, discusses the DNA risks that Donald has and how he can avoid having happened to him what happened to his dad, which was have a heart attack later in his life. So I would recommend taking a peek at this. It's pretty cool. We've set up a page. So if you go to fattofitmykquest.com/serial-killers, you should be able to watch it online. You can stream it on your tablet, on your desktop, or on your mobile device. It's kind of set up like a Netflix deal. So it's $4.99 to rent it and watch it. Or if you really want to, you can buy it also and download it. Many experts are in there. There's another doctor from the UK, Dr. Briffa, I believe is how it's pronounced, who talks about how he's changed the way he thinks and how he changed the way he deals with patients now. But it's very much focused on how he changes what he's eating and what the science is, what the results come out to when he's done. And also it deals with how he's exercising while he's doing the 30-day program. It's kind of, I would call it the opposite program of The Biggest Loser, if you want a summary that way, because he's not really exercising, I think, very much, only about 8 minutes per day, and he's eating a high-fat, low-carb diet. So I'm not exactly sure what they're eating on The Biggest Loser these days, but I don't think it's mainly focused on that. I think there are some carbohydrates, mainly based on the sponsors of the show. Anyway, I highly recommend it. So if you go there, and again, they raised the money for this through Kickstarter. So they actually went out to the public and got the money to film this and do it. And I think it's great because we need more people to spread the word. And as I said, it's not heavy-handed. You can watch it and take away from it what you want. But I think the good part is it shows exactly what I advocate, which is get your biomarkers first, see where there are some weak spots, and then do everything you can to reduce the inflammation in your body. And if you listen to episode 3, where I talked to my performance doctor, Dr. Carpenter, you'll hear him talk specifically about how important that is to maintaining good health as you get older, and also about not becoming a victim to a disease which you might be prone to, but it doesn't mean you're going to necessarily get it. All right, well, that's all the time I have for this little quick review, but I do want to invite you to watch it, and the $4.99 fee is like a rental fee for the movie, and that goes to the producers to pay their expenses, and you'll enjoy it, I think. And again, I want to wish you good health, and think about becoming the CEO of your own health. And I'll see you next time. If you'd like more information on any of the topics we've discussed today, please go to fattofitmykquest.com/blog. And also, if you'd like to leave a comment or ask a question, you'll see on the homepage there's a button on the right-hand side of the page. Just hit that button and you can start leaving your message or comment.